Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the Pimp Slap P.O.D., Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike Money's killers might even make the even news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Sports Radio, you know we be pumping!
Last call.
I say it all the time. Let's rock and roll. We've been cashing tickets like crazy. You guys in the chat have been firing, and it's awesome, man. It's outstanding. It's a lot of fun to come back in off another winning day, and that we've been doing. Yep, I threw my Dabby Cab impression out there to get everybody started today, and it's Thursday, so I'm on the ones and twos. That means all hell could break loose at any given time. Let's roll through it and let's see what we can do tonight to have some fun. And fun it was last night, right? We had a smaller card, but we maximized that card out there. We brought our guy LJ in there. He gave us some extended prop bets there for some plus money spots, sides and totals. We had a smaller hockey card. We got those done as well. You guys in the chat, man, are firing gas right now. It's fantastic. It's a ton of fun to see. And I cannot wait. So it's can't wait to get in here and rock and roll with you guys tonight. Someone says no audio. Is there audio out there? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, we good. All right. Somebody maybe just a little slow. All right, all good. So yeah, we've moved on, Jim. We've moved on. That was Tuesday's show. That was even a little bit on Wednesday. We're at Thursday, my guy. Let's go. We got to move on, brother. We can't live in the past. We got to live in the future. Cashing more tickets, doing more studying, grinding these gears out to try to continue to build these bankrolls. We got to build up this cash for San Antonio 3, Pavapalooza 3 rocking up here. We got to have disposable income to go out there. We got to pay for tickets. We got to pay for hotel rooms, and we got to go out there and we got to pay for all the fun that we're going to have down there. So there is no time to dwell on the past. It's only look forward and try to find those spots to get it done tonight. And they gave us a nice card tonight. We've got a full extended hockey slate tonight. I think there's 14 hockey games in action. So we're going to put the skates on. We're going to have a bigger card tonight than usual. We've got college basketball players. We're bringing in none other than our boy, Migada Mac coming out here. Connor Mack's going to give us some of them college basketball looks to get it rolling. And of course, we're going to talk some NBA. Connor's got some NBA spots. I've got some NBA spots. We got another parlay out there in the NBA to have a little fun with as well. And fun we had last night. So I'm excited to get into the recap. We want to let everybody get back. You're getting out of work. You're getting a cocktail. You're figuring out what you're doing for dinner. Get your asses into last call, and let's talk about how we're going to get out there and ball. It's all about getting that cash with everybody tonight. So shout out to everybody that's in here rocking early with us here. Rocking here. I see we've got the new membership levels. Tons of you guys, got to that second level today. The premium level, if you will, for $9.99 a month. We're spinning the wheel, giving out cash, giving you guys new member perks and discounts in the shop, all kinds of things you're going to need to get your pub merch and get them opportunities to get that free cash out there that our guy Jeff Slaughter's giving out. So get out there, make sure you level up if you haven't done so already. Means a ton to see everybody kind of jumped on that bandwagon right off the hop with this thing. So love to see my guy Perky Bumps in there. First guy to comment today and share a play in the chat, guys. You know the deal here. We ask you to do 3 things out there. That's it. That's all you got to do tonight. Smash that like button for us. Help us promote the brand, promote the cause. 6 p.m. Lots of people trying to imitate, but nobody can duplicate what it is we're doing over here on Pub Sports Radio. And we need your help with that like button to let everybody know what we're up to out here. We're real ones, dropping real plays, giving everybody real cash to go out there and do what they need to do with it. So the second thing, grab your butts, pen and paper. You know what you're going to do. You're going to write down the plays. Not just I and C-Mac and our panelists share, but everybody out there in the chat, man. Again, the chat firing every day, and everybody's had time to look at the card, digest it to some extent now, and come up with what they think their best solution is. So make sure you drop, that pen and paper down and write these plays out there. And last but not least, drop them plays out there in the chat. You guys have great vision, great. We worked on some things last night to cash bigger bets there. We were talking some last minute injury stuff. We were talking some trends, some angles, home road splits, all that stuff together working as one in unison with the same common enemy. Them bookies. Let's get that cash. We got to get their money right out of their hands and stick it right in our pockets. So make sure you drop your plays in the chat. Last but not least, of course, and shout out again, Perky Bumps. First guy in here says Troy moneyline, Illinois moneyline, Vermont moneyline. Let's get some Perky Bumps. Go get them, my guy. Go get them skis on, my fella. Go have a good time tonight. The Futon Bet says South Florida +10. Futon couch mode activated for our guy. Interesting line movement there. Futon Bets definitely have the cash moving in the direction that you want to see if you're on that South Florida side. So Ian Shaver says, what an absolute smash yesterday with y'all. We were firing, man. It's always a lot of fun to come back after firing. And I started out, I said, I gave you guys my, I gave you my best Dabby Cab impression to start the show. What up, though, Cheshire Cat? Smoking Tree back in the house. Our guy, Smoking Tree. Good to see you, homie. Curtis Gant says, can't hear you. I know, man. I know. Real Deal Prime. Eric Jones. You guys are all ready to rock. I appreciate that coming in, ready to fire bullets here. Joseph Thompson says, let's get that cash, Joseph Thompson. Let's get that cash. Indeed, my guy. Looking forward to seeing your best looks tonight. Bo Jackson says, we the North, baby. What a absolute, it was beatdowns and blowouts in the NBA last night. So it was a lot of fun to be on a lot of those right sides. I said earlier, I was nervous because I had a lot of dog spots, and it was a dog day in the NBA, and we got our cash all the way. So that was what we wanted to see out of that thing. Real Deal Prime says Sabres win, baby. I would not expect anything else out of our guy, Real Deal Prime. Maybe a picture of himself wearing a Sabres jersey in that little icon there that he's got for his YouTube moniker here. Bo Jackson says, hope y'all cash with the Oilers and Raptors last night. Cash we did, my guy. Cash we did. Jose Sierra. Yeah, I got it. Flea Mathis. James Parham says, hey, guys, welcome in, James. Welcome in, Jose. Welcome in, Jim. Welcome in, Bo Jackson. All you guys are ready to rock. Even my props cash this Bo Jackson I gave out last night. That was a lot of fun yesterday, man. That was just a great card. You look back, there was like minimal sweating at best. Shit to bet at the end with that Nets game, but it is what it is. It's going to happen. Not going to get them all. Jonathan Manson, welcome in, my guy, says Tampa Bay Lightning over the Wild. Don't disagree with you there. We'll talk about that game in a few minutes. Director 97 says, good evening, guys. 2 bets today, Delaware -7 and the Stanford money line. So my ear just started ringing. Someone must be talking about me. Maybe it's one of you guys out there in the chat. Appreciate that. If you're saying nice things, if you're saying bad things, that's okay. Say them to my face. Throw them in the chat. It's all good. Ian Shaver says, went 7-0 with you guys last night. Shout out Ian, man. 7-0. 7-0 is a fantastic night. That builds that bankroll. And there's my guy, Wine Time. Says, what's up, Mikey? What's up, chat? North Ender, good to see you, my guy. Good to see you back in here rocking with us tonight. J Smooth 16. Let's get it. Money MF Mike. Let's get it indeed. And Justin sharing his stacks play of the day. Love to see that there. He says Indiana Pacers +7.5. Quietly stacking up W's. Our guy Justin McKelvey out there, giving you guys them winners out there. So be here now says membership levels. Yeah, man, we got 2 levels out there. We got the green and the gold, I believe is the first tier and the second tier. $4.99 becomes a member. $9.99 gets you the premium tier. Lots of giveaways going on. Lots of spinning the wheel opportunities. Duck races, all those fun things to give you guys cash in your pockets. Give you guys exclusive member discounts to things in the shop there, the merch that we've got rocking behind the scenes as well. Get yourselves all suited up and ready to roll for Pubapalooza 3. Wine Time Sports loves the Bulls -2, Levine over 19.5 points, Michigan +3, and shout out to Mike for putting me on Elon. Yeah, I'm a little nervous now. I got a lot of guys messaging me about that Elon spot today, and they were like, "You really like the money line?" I said, "Hell yeah, I like the money line." So we'll see what happens with that thing. So crossing fingers, crossing toes, crossing everything I got to cross to get an opportunity to try to get that +8, and then let's see if we can't sneak in that 300 level money line out there. Jim Putt says Buffalo team total under 24.5. KC is now led by their defense. Talking about that NFL game coming up here. Lots of time to go. Going to be a great weekend for this NFL playoffs here. Some big matchups out there. Should be a lot of fun. The Chilla says, I'm on Minnesota plus 12 at Michigan State and Oregon State plus 15.5. My guy, Chillis, taking them dogs, taking them points. Like the strategy. The membership price isn't going to keep rising, is it, Cheshire Cat? Well, I don't make those decisions, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's a new program that's being piloted out there to give you guys bigger discounts, more incentives, cash giveaways, and all that other fun stuff. So, hang in there and ride with us. You know, you guys are already, and we appreciate it. Joseph Thompson says, here's my number one college basketball. He's got a couple college basketball. I ad-libbed his number one. I saw the one. His first play that he likes the Idaho State game over 133.5. UC San Diego, Cal Irvine over 138.5. Cal Bakersfield over 134.5. And Monmouth Drexel over 135.5. My guy Joseph Thompson emptying the clip out on everybody tonight. Nice, appreciate that, my guy. Good luck to you. Thanks for sharing. I'll pop that up on the screen as we keep rolling away here, keep rolling down the tracks. Ian Shaver's asking Wine Time. He says Michigan first half and really hoping to double it live. Wine Time says, let's get that cash. Perky sharing his prop again. He's got the Vermont money line, Illinois money line parlay now for our guy Perky. Smoking Trees likes the first half. Minnesota, Michigan State game over 65.5. Likes to see them points. Top Set says, let's get it. Fernando Mendoza says, damn, a lot of people are on Illinois. I was kind of thinking that too as they're starting to go down the chat here. So we'll see how that works out. Coin says, what up, Mike and chat? Let's have it Thursday. Coin sharing his look out there says North Dakota over 151.5. And there's Mel. Mel, what up, Mel? Good to see you back, Mel. Says, Mike, it's a 5-unit play, and you know where it's going. I think it's going on that Boston in regulation spot for our girl Mel out there, fading away on them Colorado Avalanche. So good on you. Good luck to you tonight. I think there might be some scoring in that game. I think there's a high probability for a high offense type of game, even though we got a 6 and we got the best goaltenders probably in the situation right now. So shout out to Mel dropping a 5-unit play out there. I might be privy to some inside information based on Jimmy the Bag show earlier today. Ian Shaber says, at Pub Sports Radio, anyone find the window on Florida International Liberty? Haven't seen it just yet. Haven't looked at it. Didn't get into that game too much. I already kind of went down the college basketball card today. I did add some plays, though. So I do have some added college basketball spots here. Nice little 20, I believe it's a 28-0 opportunity for you guys to try to get that cash. AOD, what up, my guy? Smoking Tree says, Illinois does got decent defense. I agree with that. You know, I think that they finally kind of came back to earth after the injury factors out there with Illinois. The suspension factors and shuffling the lineup around. Big Ten, tough spot for home dogs. Good spot for home dogs. Tough spot for them road faves too. So interesting to see how that thing works out there. And Ian Shaber says, I be gifting our guy Ian Shaber. Homie, appreciate everything that you do, all the time you spend coming in here, hanging out with us, gifting memberships, helping everybody level up, and sharing your hard-earned cash, sharing your good looks as far as the plays that you got out there, sharing your good spirit, your positive vibes, and growing our channel one member at a time. Our guy Ian Shaber, appreciate you, homie. Top Set likes the Wizard team total under, likes the Bulls first quarter, likes the Bulls team total over, Lightning, and the Illinois first half there. There's a nice little clip from our guy Top Set, giving you the lowdown there. And Smoking Trees likes the Bills first half money line. I like that play too. I think they start out strong. It's going to see what happens the rest of the game. Either they start out strong or they're going to roll over and give it up. So anyhow, Caddy Daddy says, no place for me today. Just been taping the UFC coming up, time to get back to work. Taping. I'm seeing cross-eyed today, my guy Caddy Daddy. See if someone or Mike got something I like for tonight. Let's go. We're going to come up with some plays for you tonight. We're going to absolutely come up. And it looks like Preston Ekdahl growing the membership there. Shout out to Preston. Good sport. Took a lot of heat from our guy on Sunday. And keeping his head high. He's taking the high road. And I like that. I like that out of our guy Preston. Bo Jackson says, salute Ian Shaber. Swizz, what up? Swizz says, we be pubbing. Mel, Mike, I'm actually splitting it between the money line and regulation. All right, talking about that Bruin spot tonight. Good opportunity out there. And Shaber says, Swizz, you know the playbook. Tell him to stay hot. Truth Teller says, what up, Mikey and crew? What up, Truth Teller? Nasty Nate throwing a little shade out there as well. So you guys, we're ready to roll here. We got a nice card lined up. We got our boy coming in here in about 15 minutes. to jump on some college basketball and then take a spin through the NBA with us. But before we do that, you guys know what's up. We got some important things to do, and it's be transparent. Keep it real on the 100, letting everybody know what we got for plays out there. And I gave a smaller card yesterday, so it was, I believe it was a 2-2 day for our guy LJ. Small gain. He had the plus unit extended play opportunity out there, but on my side of the card, it was a 4-2 spot out there. Those last two ads that I added that college basketball game with Youngstown State. Man, it was over 153.5 at plus 110. Then it dropped to 152.5, like right before tip off. And it lost is what it did. It lost, and it wasn't even close. So it was like 60 points in the first half. Not what you want to see. And I added that net spot, minus 6.5. That dropped again right before tip off, down to a 5. You could have gotten a 5 at right before tip on that game. So unfortunately, I did get that 5 again right before tip. And, so I took those 2 L's. We did catch some wins, though. All right, we got that New Jersey under 6.5. Even said I like the other game to be under as well. I said I thought the NHL was an under day yesterday. Only official play, though, in the NHL was that Jersey under 6.5 spot. We cashed Orlando plus 4.5, Toronto plus 3.5. And then we had our little same game parlay out there, right? We got the Lakers. We had Luka 30 plus points and AD 25 plus points. And that was a plus 258 spot. So it was definitely a lot of fun. Would have been Nasty Nate says, would have been a huge day if you tailed the Celtics action. The worst part is I added bad action and I took away good action because, I still had that plus 4 with the Cavs, but when it dropped to -1, I told you guys I wasn't going to give that out as an official play. It moved too far. They smoked them boys. They beat them up from start to finish. I know our guy LJ had that Cavs first half. I know Dutch Boy Fresh had that Cavs first half. I did not have that Cavs first half, but I did have that full game. And so hey, those are the breaks. Sometimes getting too cute with the action and what's going on out there, and that's what's going to happen. Top Set that says this has become my favorite show. Hey man, appreciate that, Top Set. Appreciate you, my guy, coming in here, rocking and hanging out with us. Time is precious commodity. We don't have enough of it. And for you guys to come hang out and spend time with me and our crew and our chat, everybody rocking out there, trying to find plays to get winners together means a ton. So nothing is taken lightly. It's appreciative and a joy to go through and scrub the card every day to come out and spend time with you guys and try to give you guys something different to consider as far as, look, maybe the look aligns with the side you're on. Maybe it keeps you off a side. Maybe it encourages you to play a side that you didn't give some thought to, but that's what this is all about. We share because we care, and we get the opportunity to work hard together to get it done. So appreciate you, my guy, Top Set. Let's see. Ian Shaver says first quarter, first half, and full Celtic spots out there. That's the trifecta. That's how it works, man. That's good job on our guy, Nasty Nate. Rocking and rolling. Bo Jackson says, so far I'm on the Senators, the Maple Leafs, and the Sacramento Kings money lines tonight. Interesting spot. The Kings making their first game back after that long road trip. Sacramento Kings, that is. He also has 2 hockey plays in regulation. Preston Ekdahl says, books are wisening up. Sabonis triple doubles now only plus 150 for me and limited him to $18. Jesus. Trying to get another book, dude. That's not even worth it. I mean, plus 150 is, I guess that's okay. But what's that going to give you? $25? You can't even buy a pizza with that. So anyhow, Joseph Thompson, you have any thoughts? He says, Mike, you have any thoughts on the Minnesota-Michigan game? Michigan State game, likes Minnesota plus 12. I really didn't look at that too much. I'm not a fan of the way Michigan State's been playing. Certainly not fond of what they've been doing out there, but we will get to college hoops here shortly. Let's get it rolling there. Let's get it happening. Smoking Tree says LMAO. Yeah, maybe that was me making it funny. And there's Earl Sports Bets. He says draw. Our guy with the draw. Shout out Nick Earl coming in here hanging out with us tonight. Looking forward to seeing his hockey action. I'm sure he'll be all over the opposite side of me because that's just how Nick and I roll. And that's okay. That's okay. My guy's having a big bump. If you haven't seen him over there on X, rocking and rolling. He's up double-digit units in the NHL to start 2024 off. So shout out. Good on you, Nick Earl. And Preston Ekdahl says it was plus 600 a month ago, Eddie and Shaver. It should be. Yeah, that's funny. One of the NBA plays we'll talk about, there's been a lot of change as well. But let's get going here. Let's go. We got a lot to do. We got a little time to do it. We're going to start with the NHL, so make sure you get them skates on, and let's take it to the ice here. Let's get rocking with this game today. We got a pretty full NHL card, so I got to move ultra fast here. You guys know the deal. On the right-hand side, you'll see the plays that we're on the top of the screen, or sorry, where we're at as far as the games that we're going to cover. the top of the screen. We don't cover them all here. That's not the thing to do. We don't just want to give you guys all these plays. We want to give you the best plays, the best looks out there that we have that we're actually playing. I think that's just a lot more conducive to listening to the angles and how we got to the window. Maybe it helps you to bring a couple of tidbits back for you for the next time. But nobody wants to sit here and listen to a 4-hour show, tonight after we already heard it earlier today. So it's about finding the best place for you guys to get that cash. That's what it's, we've already got the avenue to break down all these games. And them boys do a great job early today talking about goalie lineups, player positions, and everything else. But here's how we're going to get to the window, at least as far as my card's concerned tonight. And I started with this Minnesota-Tampa Bay game. So you'll see I got a 6-pack in hockey tonight. That's a little bit longer a spot than that's kind of like when we first started this thing here, firing off 7, 8, 9 hockey plays. But, starting to, now that we're up positive, some considerable units since the show started between leans and actual plays, we're up almost 85, almost 90 units collectively. And, it's growing the data, it's growing the unit size. So slimming it down, beefing them up, and that's how we're going to get more fun out of these books. And with this game particularly, I looked at this Tampa spot, and I'll tell you, we'll just kind of break it down by the numbers here to start this thing off. We look at this game, and it's Minnesota with Gustafsson back in net, coming back from his injury out there, and Vasilevsky on the Tampa Bay side of things, who got injured earlier in the season, came back from that lower back surgery, I believe it was hip surgery, and, has kind of found his footing now as they get moving. And I'll tell you who hasn't found his footing since coming back. Gustafsson got shelled. 5 goals on 18 shots in his last game. He was playing well before the injury, though. He was 8-3. I'm sorry, 8-3. He had 3 or less goals before that injury at a 92.7 save percentage. But, he got banged up. He got taken out of the lineup. Now, the thing about this Minnesota team is a lot of players are coming back from injury. And a lot of guys a lot of people in the business are looking at that as a strength. Keep in mind, when this team was healthy, they got their coach fired because they stunk. That's not a positive. What happened is some of that chemistry came out of the lineup. They brought younger, fresher guys in there that didn't care who their coach was. They just wanted to capitalize on the opportunity. And that's when Minnesota started going on a tear. So flip side of things, Tampa Bay started slow. Vasilevsky took a long time to get coming back in. He's now got 7, going for his 7th start in a row, and he's going for his 4th win in a row. So he's been playing pretty phenomenal hockey since the turn of the calendar year. 6 goals on 26 shots versus Boston. Not his finest performance in the 7-3 loss. He was 76.9%. But since then, he's fired off 3 wins in a row. Like I said, he's going for number 4. He's hanging on a 91.7% save percentage. So he's very much bottomed out in that Boston game. And he's been exceeding and playing higher than his season average the last 3 games behind it. It culminates with a 5-0 win that they had against the New York Islanders. Very big opportunity out there. And look, this is just a straightforward fade of Minnesota on the road. They're 3-7 in their last 10 spots as a dog on the road. They're not playing well on the road. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games. They're 7-13 straight up on the season when they're on the road. And they have a -18 goal differential. I don't look at the goal differentials all that often because, when you see a -18, it's going to take a long time they're going to have a lot of blowout wins to kind of bring that thing back to square. But every so often, I think it's a good way to kind of index what's going on with this team and see who they are. They stink on the road. They're not good as a dog on the road, and they have a -18 goal differential. They're just not playing defense. They're allowing 4.2 goals a game over the last 30 days out there, and their offense is only coming up with a 2.9 goals a game situation. So not enough goals to get the job done. You can't win games if you're not outscoring your opponent. And, they're hoping that Gustafsson can figure it out. But between Gustafsson and Fleury, they're in a bad spot. So bring all these bodies back. Bring me a scrub team that nobody wanted to play for, and they got their coach fired. Then you look at the other side of this thing with Tampa Bay, ups and downs for the team. Like I said, going on their 4th win, but a decided home ice advantage, 14-5-3 on their home ice out there. And let me just take a peek at what the best number is now. It looks like it's moved to -135 at BetMGM is the best number. So it's moved 10 cents since putting this stuff together. And that'll be the number that I take on this thing. So we'll open the NHL card up tonight with this Minnesota Tampa Bay shot. Mel says, wild suck, always will. Guys, I'm going to do my best with the chat. Thursday's a producer less. So there's a lot of flipping shit going on back here. So forgive me if I don't get to everybody's comments in the spot here. I'm doing my best to make sure that I recognize all you guys putting your feedback out there, especially the looks and if you want to break my balls, that's fine too. But I just, there's a lot of clicking going on. So bear with me as we go. The books are listening to you. Mike Tampa just hopped to -146. You know, Derek B, I swear I've got the formula these books use to come up with their algorithms on these numbers, because sometimes these lines are so sharp and you see these numbers and it hits and it's like, man, this is just crazy. So, yeah, Preston says it's definitely a detriment to being legal. Now he's talking about the $18 spot, I'm sure. Hey, there's still some books out there you can, I set some books up for props specifically. And I'll tell you, one of them, I'm not going to give them an advertisement, but I've talked about it a few times with the -1s out there. There's some books that I put in place specifically because their regulation period, their regulation spots and their money and their -1 spots are just better than everybody else's. So I try to take advantage of that, and it's a newly seeded account, but it was one that I already got the bonus on prior to, and I just kind of moved away from it to keep everything kind of consolidated. But, depending on how you play, not a bad idea to have a prop bet book out there. I got a UFC book too. There's some better numbers in certain spots on the UFC when it comes to those props. So, Errol said, Nick says, Spurgeon, the captain, out for the remainder of the season. Justin McAlvey says you should only read member comments. I mean, I want everybody to be a part of this thing. I want to see what they have to share with us, but there's a lot to do. So anyhow, let's keep rocking. We got a lot of hockey to cover here, and again, a short window to do it. So let's get this Capitals going. Let's talk about this next game. And look, I'm on this under. I went right for this under. The under 6 is really the number that's out there now at -120. 71% of the bets, 57% of the cash on the under. This is strictly a play on the fact that the two best goaltenders for these teams are in the net. It's a revenge spot for Lindgren, and that he used to be the goaltender for the St. Louis Blues before he got traded away. And that's a Washington home factor. If you look at the numbers, Washington at home, significant trend on the under. They're 7-16 to the under, but they're averaging 5.2 goals a game in those spots. So the 6 is in play for us to get a push. We've got Binnington coming in net. Again, I mentioned the better guy, I think, for St. Louis, 3.04 goals against average, 90.6% saving. Lindgren, 8-4-3, 2.24 goals against average at a 92.9% saving. And it's just not I think there's an opportunity for St. Louis to be live in this game, but I like this under so much better. You look at this last game with Washington, they beat up the Ducks 2-0 in a shutout. That was Kemper in goal. So now they're going back to Lindgren. The flip side of things, the Caps have only got 7 goals in their last 3 games. They're doing their share to keep it under that 3-goal mark in a per game average. On the other side of things, Blues on a 2-game losing streak. They're not scoring. Binnington's allowed 2 goals or fewer in his last 5 games, and they're still losing games. He's out there saving 93.6%, save percentage over his last 5-game stretch. So he's playing stellar right now, well above his average. And I think we see that continue in a tough spot to play here with Washington. Lindgren, again, only 4 goals in his last 2 games since he came back from injury. We kind of got to the middle of the season where these guys get battered and tattered up pretty easily. And, from a goaltending perspective, Lindgren comes back in, again, only 4 goals in 2 games at a 93.1 spot. And I mentioned the revenge. His former club out there, I think they know it's his former club. Of course, they're going to go out there. They're going to want to mess his night up too. But these teams just don't score enough to be of contention and concern. Seeing this Capitals home ice, to me, not a consideration whatsoever. I would lean to St. Louis in this game. -103 now. It's starting to run away from that +105 opening. So there has been almost a 10-cent move on that side of things. But, for me, I want this total. I want to capitalize. We capitalized on that Ducks game and the under and the Capitals, no pun intended. And we're going to take this Washington under 6 official play at -120 for the show. Let's keep it rolling here. 3rd game up. I'm doing it. I'm absolutely doing it. And can't call me a homer in this regard here. You can call me a lot of things, but I'm not afraid to fade these Flyers. I've been saying it all year. They're too stupid to know they should be losing these games and giving themselves a better draft pick out there. But, Tortorella's addressed it. He said, stop. He's yelling at the fans. He said, stop writing me, emails and letters telling me to lose games. We're not losing games. We're going to go out there. We're going to treat every day as an individual day and try to bring our most every single day out there. And I respect it. I mean, I'd rather see, they don't want to have a long-term rebuild is what it comes down to. And they made that move. You could see when they bring in Drysdale, big opportunity for this guy. You've got Ottinger back in goal at 13-8-2 for Dallas, coming back from the injury. It's going to be his 3rd start now. So kind of getting some confidence back in there and getting used to the adjustment and the pace of the play. Harrison, though, on the other side of things at 11-5-3 for Philly, has kind of been the diamond in the rough where everybody was starting the season out talking Carter Hart. They should re-sign him. You know, Philadelphia, they have a long history of screwing up goaltenders. They just break them. And, once the tread's off the tires, you can't put it back on. And that's probably what we're going to see with Carter Hart. But here comes the next guy up. They got a true next man up philosophy in one of the most important positions in hockey. And it's Ersson playing phenomenal right now. Like I said, Ottinger, third start, 4 goals on 36 shots versus Nashville's first game back. Not his best go at it. He kind of got lit up on that thing. But again, a huge speed adjustment from sitting on your couch eating Cheetos, figuring out your lower body, to going out there and playing in an NHL start against one of the hot scoring teams in Nashville. Now, since then, he's gone 2-0, 96.2% saving, 51 saves on 53 shots. He's playing pretty stellar right now. Flyers, on the other hand, 4 wins in a row coming off that road trip. They've been playing phenomenal, well above expectations. And everyone's talking about wild card potential. I mean, they just won't give up. There's no quit in that team. And unlike the counterparts there, the Philadelphia Eagles, who just quit on the season right around Thanksgiving time. So that being said, you look back at Ersson, his last game was out there against the Jets in a 2-0 shutout as well. He took 35 saves. And I mentioned he's been phenomenal in his last 8 games, 5-2-1 with a 94.1 save percentage out there. But, Dallas outscoring opponents. That's the big difference here. They're finding success, scoring goals. They're getting contributions from the second and third lines as well. They're 8-2 outscoring their opponents their last 2 games, 8-2. And this is kind of similar situation. Flyers at home, they're only scoring 2 points. I say similar situation to that previous game that we talked about. They're only scoring 2.2 goals per game on home ice the last 30 days. They're allowing 3. Don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that math's upside down and doesn't work out. Can't operate in a negative deficit at all. And you look at the Stars team. Stars are only allowing 1.3 goals a game on the road. They're a phenomenal road team. And this past month, they've been stellar. And they're, like I mentioned, 12-4-3 on the season on the road, a plus 30 goal differential on the road. I don't think I've ever seen this early in the season that solid a goal differential from a road team. And the bigger number that I've got for this thing here is when you're playing a team that you previously beat, you're off a win in the under as a favorite. You're 36-14 in those spots for the NHL. So great price for this Dallas Stars team that I just talked about, their road performance. Unfortunately, this line's moving again as well. And minus 135 is the best number that's out there. I'm not going to get fickle over a nickel. I'm going to take that minus 135 and see if we can't just put that thing right on the W side of things again with strong road team making it happen. So, let's take a buzz over and see what you guys have to say over there. Am I full of shit is what the question is from the chat here. Let's see. Cheshire says he likes to Tage anytime goal scorer and Tage Thompson 2+. I like that look, Cheshire Cat. I think he's a guy that's been firing. He says he's starting to smash. I read from the bottom up, so I'm just repeating comments you guys already have out there. But Eric Jones says that lemon cherry gelato, good smoke. That's what he's smoking on. Nice, Mike. I get that plane up in the air. Earl Sports says Arvid Soderblom confirmed for Chicago. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting spot. Probably an under for me in that game, but nothing official. Cheshire's passing on the Stars-Philly game, even after my dynamic breakdown of that thing and why Dallas should kick the shit out of Philadelphia. But they're too stupid to roll over and lose, so that's a tough spot for them out there. And Smoking Tree says he's got extra money on it. I like to see that, dude. Love to see it there. Earl Sports Bet says, yeah, fuck the Flyers, go Stars, passing on the game. Ricky Levine, there's my guy, says Dallas 10-0 in the last 10 as a favorite against Philly. Yeah, there's just not a good spot to be out there. Earl says Ovechkin expected to be back tonight as well. Earl 4-2 St. Louis sounds good. No, that sounds like that's going to push my over or my under rather. Yeah, and he's got the over 5.5 this morning. Yeah, I like the 6 there. I think this is gonna be an under game, a 3-2 final. So let's keep rolling. We got a lot more to cover, a lot more to get into, and we want to make sure that we got plenty of time for our boy to get rocking with us here. He's gonna be buzzing by any second now. So big opportunity for me in this game. I told you guys the other day about Calgary and that Arizona game. When Arizona's coming off a game where they've got 20 or more hits, you want to certainly fade them that next game because they got them tired legs. They're just physically beat up. And that was a great Calgary spot. Tonight, though, on the other hand, not so much. I know they're playing well right now. They're running and gunning, but we got Martin Jones coming back in on the Toronto side of things, 8-5-1 with a 92.2 save percentage, and we got Dark Flatter out there with the Calgary side of things, 7-5-2, but an 88.5% save percentage. We talked about this factor last game with Arizona, leading to an over. They brought up was it Wolf from the AHL. they've got Vladar, and it's all because Markstrom's hurt again. So they're kind of taking it slow. They're not trying to rush him back into this thing. And that's a dangerous spot to be at because goals can certainly add up quick. Now, the first game with Vladar in there was that 3-2 come from behind win that they took down against Arizona. I believe it was overtime. I don't think it quite got to the shootout. It was the last seconds of overtime that they won that game. But, 23 of 25 saves. Big spot for him to step up with the hurt player factor. We're now past that hurt player factor, and we know that things tend to regress a little bit. So if they got to pull him out, they're going to an AHL goaltender that's gotten lit up like a Christmas tree. Away favorites, when they're off a dog loss, as long as they're less than a -150 favorite. NHL wide over the last 2 seasons, 347 and 232. And then Calgary is the counterpoint on this thing. When Calgary's coming off a win and their opponent's coming off a loss, Calgary's 1-6 in those spots. So, you can tell me that they're tough players and all this and that, and I got it. They fought from behind for that emotional victory there against Arizona. But what happens is they're going to face a team in Toronto that's got to be pissed off that they're dealing with a couple of losses in a row now. Had that Edmonton game in hand and then just fell apart in that third period. I think they were up 2 goals and fell apart. Had a day to sit on it and stew, so they're coming in with some rest, and they're going to be pissed off, and I think they're going to stick it to this Calgary Flame spot. Again, kind of that counterpoint where, we got a great spot for this away favorite off a loss. And if if Calgary's on a winning streak as it is, what the hell's going on that Toronto comes in here on a losing streak as a dog? Another one with some line movement. It's -130 is the best number I can see out there now. So that's only a penny for your thoughts. And I'm going to take that one as well. So -130. I'm just updating these as I shop these lines and get you guys these accurate real-time numbers. So I'm going with this one here. I'm rocking with Toronto. As bad as they are in certain spots here, I think it's a great spot for Calgary to have a letdown. Again, big come from behind there. They fought hard to beat that Arizona team, and we're going to take advantage of this spot here for the letdown and the pickup from the Toronto side of things. So let's keep rolling. 2 more games to cover in the NHL. Then we're going to rock. We're going to turn over and lace up the old high tops and get on to that hardwood. So going with the dog here. You guys can see it on the top of the screen. We're going to talk about this Nashville spot next, in Nashville and the Kings. And an interesting game here with Saros coming in for Nashville. Saros at 17, 16 and 1, kind of a middling year for him. 90% saving. Not really doing anything spectacular, but not doing anything that horribly either. On the other side of things, the Kings have been struggling right now. They got Rittich going in goal. This guy's their only bright spot. The call up from the AHL is the only bright spot. It's a bad news spot for a team in the LA Kings that everybody awarded the Stanley Cup to in the first month of the season. He is 3-0-1 though. And that's an interesting spot because you look back at the stretch of games here, a 2-5-4 run the LA Kings have been on over their last 11 games, 2-5-4. The only 2 wins in those games were Rittich starts. So, interesting that they're going back to this young guy here. Prior to that, though, they had a nice little 8-game losing streak cooking after that previous win that they just picked up. And this is the big number here. Nashville comes off that 4-1 loss to Vegas. Going to be fired up. They're trying to keep pace out there, and they know they've got to come out there and get this win against this LA Kings team that's reeling. And believe it or not, if you lost 5 of your last 6 games in the NHL, it's more likely you're going to lose the next game than it is you're going to win that game. If you lost 5 of 6, you're 20 and 34 overall in the next game that you play out there. Going to this AHL type backup here with Rittich. I know he's been playing phenomenal, 1.6 goals against average, 93.2% saving. You're going to have to show it to me this game to show me that you deserve it. And I think this is a great price for this Nashville Predator spot. So let me just do a little line shopping here. Get the 130 while you can because it's dropping now. It's plus 120, plus 118s out there now. I even see a plus 115. So best number we're going to get is plus 130 over at Caesars, the Dirty Skis. And we're going to roll on and talk about this last game on the card. I don't know if I have a graphic for it, though. Nope, no graphic for it. Sorry, we don't need no graphics. We don't need no stinking graphics. Let's go. Let's talk about this game here. Let's look at this last game on the card tonight for us. I went to this Rangers and Vegas game. And, speak of the Devils here, Vegas, that is, coming off that Nashville 4-1 victory. I'm fading them here. I'm fading this opportunity here. Not sure what's going on with Aiden Hill. They're not disclosing what the level of injury is that he has, which means they've got to go back to Logan Thompson. He's 14-9-3 on the season, so he's been more than serviceable as a backup. 2.7 goals against average, 90.8% save percentage. The Rangers going back to the big gun and Shesterkin at 18-10. They got some bailout when Shesterkin was kind of struggling because they were able to go to Jonathan Quick. But Shesterkin's regained his footing, 279 goals against average, 90.4% save percentage. The thing about Shesterkin and regaining his footing, it's his third straight start. He's had back-to-back consecutive quality starts. He's 94.6% saving over those last two games, way above his 90.4 season average. And again, going for his third in a row here. Vegas, on the other hand, only has one regulation win in their last 4 games. This game could be Nick. This could be the Nick Earl draw special in this Rangers Vegas game. Wouldn't surprise me one bit, but I do think this is the opportunity. Again, Logan Thompson's getting his 4th start. On the other side of things, he had a 34 saves on a 35 shot opportunity against Nashville. So a slight uptick in shots on goal could have potentially tuckered him out. He does have 3 or less goals in each of his last 4 games as well. So he's banging out a 94.3% save percentage. But look, the Rangers, best team in the Metropolitan Division. There's no Jack Eichel. He's got some surgery going on again for Jack Eichel. So he's out of the lineup. And who the hell knew? But the Rangers versus the West Coast are 27-9 going back to December 2022. And when you're a road team, you got the Kings on the road next. You're 85-36 in the last 3 seasons of the NHL. It's a 4-0 spot this season for the New York Rangers. Do I want to see if this number's changed? I got -130 earlier today. Has it changed? No, it's still -130s out there. All right. All right. So we still have a -130 in play for this thing tonight. And that's going to do it for us in hockey. So quite a spotty or quite a lengthy NHL card. I like that 6 legs there. And I like that -130 is kind of like the high-end sweet spot that I would go to. Anything higher than that, I might start to consider the -1s. And let's take a spin around and see what you guys have to say. Justin McKelly says, that Perky, not sure I don't have Twitter. Justin, I can't believe you don't have Twitter, my guy. But hey, to each his own. Michael Johnson says, I'm all over the Rangers, finally healthy, smash spot. I agree. I think it's a really good opportunity for him. Smoking Tree says, I'm tempted to take the Bruins puck line at +176. I saw the -1. I think it was -115 or something like that. So I was considering that at one point as well. But I like goals in that game. I saw some numbers that indicated there was going to be a lot of scoring in those spots specific to Boston. And we know Colorado's not afraid to put the puck in the net. They got themselves some 4, 5, 6 goal shootout festivals going on out there. So Michael Johnson says, be careful with my LA Kings pissed off group. Yeah, they can be pissed off, but they're going to end up getting pissed on because they don't have enough talent to go out there and get the win. I don't think here in this spot there. They were great to start the season, but this is that middle of the season lull. It's usually the All-Star break where teams kind of regroup and refocus. And but hey, you know what? To each his own. I certainly can appreciate with boots on the ground or being your team. We can talk about, your angles and why you think that makes sense. Nasty Nate says Bruins smash. Smoking Tree says off it. And then there's Nick. He says he leans the King. Of course he does. He leans the Kings -1. Have him around -160, -165 range. Haven't seen a soul on the LA Kings tonight. I always think it's funny, Nick. We're always, we're not always, but there's a lot of times that we're head to head on those spots. So it's okay. It's all good. May the better team win in that spot. So yeah, it's a tricky game out there for sure. Smoking Tree says, what's up, Sharon Polian? What up, Sharon Polian? Good to see you. Loopy, you 2 Nucks in Boston money lines. I was thinking about that Vancouver spot as well. I had to kind of slim it down though. 6 plays on the ice, a lot of plays to get this thing rocking. Guys, we're 140, almost 145 in this thing right now. If you haven't done so already, smash that like button for me. Show that you're having a good time doing what we're doing here tonight, enjoying what everybody's got to share. Hey, we got a celebrity in the chat. Speak of Jordan Binnington out there. St. Louis Blues money line for Jordan Binnington on Jordan Binnington night. So that's only appropriate, Jordan Binnington. It's good to see you, my guy. Earl Sports says Leafs have lost 4 in a row. They had leads in all 4 games, and yet somehow they've lost 4, and they're still a pretty meaty favorite there on the road in this Calgary spot. So very interested to see how that's going to work out. But let's go. We got more work to do. We're not done yet. Time to lace the high tops up and get out to the hardwood. We got our guy going. Tarek B says no parlay. Parlay for me is in the NBA tonight. It's a player prop parlay too. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. I didn't want to just fire. I mean, it's a big card, but I've got a lot of action out there. I did one personally. I think it's like a 7-legger in the NHL. I cashed one the other night that was like, I think it was 25-1 on a 5-legger. So Michael Johnson says parlay Mikey. Look, maybe by the end of the show, if you guys remind me, I'll take a look and see if we can't put together something. Well, we got a minute here while we're waiting for our guy. So look, the Senators, another team that I looked at. I didn't get them into any specific plays, but they've got that unrested road dog situation going on right now that's been killing it in the NHL. It's 10-0 this season, the unrested road dog spot. So big opportunity out there for that one. I'll tell you what. Somebody fire this in the chat. Let's take a look. Somebody get this into this thing and let's see what it looks like here. Because I was thinking about it. I'm excited. If you guys want to talk about one, let's get it rolling here. Let's go with the Flyers under 6. Let's go with the Edmonton Oilers -1.5. And Edmonton Oilers -1.5 and over 6 in the Minnesota Wild Tampa Bay game. Over 6 in the the Tampa Bay game. Under 6 in the Philly game, and Edmonton -1.5. Somebody takes the time to put that in the chat. I will put it up on the screen. I'm going to play that. That's good. We'll make that a show parlay in the NHL. We're going to have 2 parlays tonight. Then that's how it's going to be. Those are spots that I was looking at that I didn't get a chance to play on. So we'll make those official spots out there. But let's Edmonton -1.5 puck line. Oh, Rangers Vegas. Yeah, I've got the Rangers money line. So -130 out there for that thing. So let's go. Let's talk about some college basketball. We've got our guy coming in here momentarily. I think he's just getting himself adjusted, but let's take a look at this game that I'm jumping on here. And big opportunity for this one. This is just a straight revenge spot or a bounce back spot for a team in the Zags. They don't lose 2 in a row. If you look back at let me see if I can pull it up. I was doing some other things here earlier today when I was trying to put this thing together, so I did not get a chance to write this one down, but definite bounce back opportunity. Look, we talked about this yesterday too. If you guys look at these numbers and you see, we talked about it with, the Florida State game, Florida State, Miami. Loved Miami. It was all over Miami. The line had moved 1 cent in that Miami game, and Florida State comes out there and wins outright. Similar spot with Arizona State. I know Jimmy had commented on that on his show today saying, the tricky spot was here's a home team against a bad UCLA team, and it's only 3.5 points. I don't disagree with that either, but that line hadn't moved with all the cash coming in the way it was. So certain things that you want to pay attention to, and that's what we're doing here with Last Call. So I will make sure to give you guys the cash flow breakdowns here as we bring our guy on next here. And before I even jump in and as I scroll through to find this thing, let's bring him on here. He's ready to rock. I see his cameras up and rolling. And you guys know him. He's all over the college circuit when it comes to this thing that we do at Pub Sports Radio. Great guest, good friend. Had the opportunity, love working with him live, sharing ideas around college football, college basketball, and of course, star of hitting the books out there at Pub Sports Radio. We're dragging him out of retirement here in his off season. We're going to bring him on screen. You guys know him. It's making it back, Daddy. Let's go. C-Mac, how are you, my guy?
We off here? What's going on?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, you got the other box button. There we go. Mikey, C effort there on the Mickey Mac. But
it wasn't my best.
Hey,
it wasn't my best one.
You'll nail it. The other one last week was you ripped it.
I got excited. I got too excited about this thing, and that's what happens. But C-Mac, I know we got a little bit of time with you here. I appreciate you coming in, rocking with us, and you've got a card put together as well. So we will dig in.
Yeah.
I was just going to kind of go through this one really quick before we kind of turn the floor over here. And I was talking about the Zag spot. Again, a team that doesn't lose 2 in a row. They're 29-0 going back to February 2014. That's an outright spot for them. But they're just a team that plays hard that second game back after that loss. And as I was looking at this thing, this 12 just felt to me a little bit like that Houston spot last night where Houston was laying 13 points. And, the flip side of it, if you looked at Arizona's laying 19, 20, 21, doesn't quite get the cover, but Houston had no problem getting the job done. And they were in a situation where they were starting out slow in the conference, kind of slow and low, trying to figure it out. And so as I was kind of looking at this game, a lot of these games kind of fit some of the modeling that I get into as far as, how these teams profile one versus the other. And I thought this was a great opportunity. This 12 spot, I'm just trying to pull it up and see what the number looks like right now. But, here we've got this team that's pissed off coming off of that loss, not happy about what they took on that thing. And there's still kind of the perennial spot out there on the West Coast. But, they're playing a Pepperdine team here. We've got 83% of the bets, 59% of the cash on the Zags. Line's not really moving. So I know I just talked about how this thing's got to be of concern. The total's not moving either. 92% of the bets, 82% of the cash on the over, and the line's sitting at 157.5. I don't want to put you on the spot here, but 11-5 Zags still on the road against the 9-10 Pepperdine team. Do you think this is too many points? Do you think they have a shot here? I know they're kind of in an interesting schedule position right now. And I looked at it and I saw they played Pepperdine already on January 4th. They kicked the shit out of them. They beat them by 26 points on a -21. It's the same team. I don't care if they're on the road. You're better than the other team and you're pissed off and motivated. I think it's going to be boots to the ass. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it could be boots to the ass for Gonzaga. Have had some bad losses and are outside the top 25 now. It's been a long time, right? What do you think? Over 5 years, maybe? Is this team? I mean, because even in non-conference play, they lose a game or two. They just kill it in conference play and wax everybody. It seemed like they're just not great defensively. It's just a problem. Now they're playing a team in Pepperdine who doesn't stop anything, never really has. They do shoot the ball well. This Pepperdine at times they shoot the ball well from three. They've just relied. Venter's out for the year. Obviously, was a big hurt in the beginning, but they just rely on Nebhard and Watson too much. There's just them scoring the basketball for this Gonzaga team. They don't have a ton of depth, and hopefully they get some once they go through conference play. They could win. They could cover. I wanted nothing to do with this at all. Not on the road, at least. If this was back at home and this was 18, 19, maybe. And the total I think is pretty sharp. I thought that's right where I kind of had it with everything that I go through. When I cap everything in the morning, was right around this number. So it was a stay away.
Well, you do have a play out there for us here with Monmouth and Drexel at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we've got about 10 minutes or so to pop this thing with a line that opens at plus 8.5 to Monmouth. The road dog has moved to 9.5s now. 57% of the bets and 58% of the cash like this Drexel team. And they've been running and gunning. You look at the total, opens at 134.5. Now we're seeing some 135.5, so 136s out there. But an interesting split on this total. 81% of the bets on the under, but 66% of the cash on the over. And it kind of seems like the books are shading the fact that they're more concerned about the over money than they are the under money. But the floor is yours, my friend. Tell us what you think about this game and how you want to get paid.
Shout out to the chat. Hit up over here. Steven Gaucho, Michael Johnson, Kelly, what's up? Good to see you. Nunya, as always, Coin, Jay Smooth, the Chillis, Justin McElvey, as always, Sharon, always true for years and years, supporting us here. Ian, Truth Teller, what's up, my man? Great to see you. Cheshire Cat, shout out to all you guys. Hit the like button. That's all we ask for.
Damn right.
In the end, right? Hit the goddamn like button. I thought this game really, there's a bunch of games that I like that just went back through these games. I do that, Mike. I sit here and, look at one right away, go, and I come back to it, and I'll come back to it again. I love doing that with college football and the NFL because you sit with those all week. But even in a day, when you have a few hours where you sit with these, you just keep going back to it. When you look at this right away, you just think this is Drexel. They're 12-6. They're 6-1 at home. They've been very, very good. They're the better defensive team too, which I really, really like. Because when I looked at this, thought the number was a little large, but I'm like, this seems like Drexel gets this done. But I like this Monmouth team. And there's one problem though. They're horrible on the road, which is a little bit terrifying. But they're 1-7 on the road here, Mikey. But they're 5-2-1 against the spread. That's what we're talking about here. This is moved to 10.5. I got 10.5 with Monmouth. That's my look. They're 12-4-1 ATS all year. One thing with this Monmouth team and some of the road losses early on, they got a lot tougher schedule, I thought. They lost to Oklahoma by 16, 72-56. Oklahoma's playing well then, but they lost to 9 at Seton Hall. A couple of these games when I was just going through it. One of those might have been a neutral, though I have to double check. But they shoot 38% from 3, decent free throw shoot too. I think that could keep them in the game, as well as Drexel's defense is. And Drexel's offense is good enough against this Monmouth team this total could get over. I didn't want to mess with the total. Once I got the 10.5, I just think they can hang around. I want a team. It's a little bit different like football. Like defense helps you sometimes cover these games. But college basketball, I want a team that can shoot it, especially if you're down by 11 or 12 to cover a number like this. I just think it's too. Drexel's very good. Shouldn't be laying this big a number. Give me the 10.5. Monmouth.
Like it. I see a bunch of 9.5s now. Does that?
It's gone back down.
Do you still?
I think 9.5's okay, but when I saw the 10.5, I just thought it moved 2 points too quick with Drexel because it opened right around 8.5, 9 from last night.
So you like that? You take the points with Monmouth and say that there's they'll at least hang in there and keep it competitive.
Yeah, I think they got the shooters. I think this is a pretty good basketball team, and I've talked about how bad they are on the road, but they've covered numbers on the road. Because I always see this, especially now in conference play. I love it. I took a bunch of teams the last few days. They're just awful, but there's so many good spots, and there's even more that I kind of like today. Just nothing fit. I have a bunch kind of leans where yesterday I didn't, and all in some of these games. But these teams there's a few things missing. They can't score. Blah blah turnovers when you go through all this shit. But I think Monmouth can hang around. 1-7 road, but 5-2-1 against the number. I'll take
number, right. There was a spot, I can't recall which one it was, that I gave out on Jimmy's show earlier today that I said, yeah, they cover spreads. Like that's the bottom line is they're covering. Give a shit what they do against. They were worse than the conference, but they're covering, and that's how we get paid. So Joseph Thompson, shot. I do remember you said you were on that over for Drexel. So good on you, my guy. And again, the numbers. Maybe you're that sharp number that's putting that money on the over that's giving the books the grief out there. So good on you, my guy. Appreciate you sharing those numbers out there. And but I know I've made some money off of Drexel this season, so it's difficult for me to. But again, 9.5, that's a lot of points. It's a lot of numbers. And they're kind of in that middle conference where they end up catching some points more than giving some points to some of these bigger schools. And I think that attributes to their covers. But we got this Sac State, North Colorado game here, 8 p.m. Eastern start. So 5, it's happy hour CMAC time out there. Sac State, North Colorado, plus 7.5 where the line opens. We've got 8.5 now and even 9.5. 81% of the bets and 93% of the cash on the Northern Colorado side, CMAC. I don't have any cash splits on the totals. I see 148.5. I don't even see movement on that. It's like it's completely dark on that side of things. But maybe you can illuminate how we're going to get to the window with this 8 p.m. Sac State, North Colorado game. Take it away.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a little bit of trepidation on the total. Sac State's pretty good defensively, a slower team. But they're on the road here. They're not at home. So I don't think they get the pace in this game. Northern Colorado were the best teams to the over all year long. They've been money for me. They're 10-3, 10-3-1 so far this year. On the flip side, Sac State's 7-8. Their total's a little bit lower. So when I see teams like this that's not in the 150s, I like to jump. I got a 148.5. And one thing that it loves me in the full game over, because I think you could look at Northern Colorado's team total in this game. It was 79.5, because I think they get to 80. Even against Sac State, they'll push the pace. Is Northern Colorado's horrible defensively? I mean, look, when you go through their games, it's just pretty telling. They lost, a couple of road games. They won 98-92 at Montana State, they lost 90-81. The last few, look at these, 97-87, 86-82. This was just off. And the one clunker they had, Mikey, was on the road, or at Colorado. It was 90-68. I'm pretty sure that was the road, December 15th. And they just haven't had a game like this. They just constantly push the ball up and down, up and down. I got the 148. I'm on the over there. And if you want, though, you can look at this Northern Colorado team total even over 79.5.
I like that. Look, I've been a Northern Colorado fan. They've made me some money the last couple of years. So I see what you mean, though, about the point. It's either they smash the other team and they cover the over, or they get smashed and they still cover the over. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, that was at Colorado. Okay, I was just making sure. So that's the only game under they've had to be even held under 70 at all. So even against Air Force, you think of a slow paced team, right. A little bit higher paced this year than years past, but I had to pull the trigger, give you this over.
Gotcha. Well, I'm excited for the breakdown on this next one here. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. Love the cascading card that you have here, bringing us now to 9 o'clock Eastern. Eastern Washington, Weber State, who's not even a state. 5.5 is where the number opens up. 68% of the bets and 59% of the cash. Depending on the book, maybe a 0.5 point movement at best right now. The total opens at 148.5, has dropped to 146.5, so 145.5. We have 60% of the bets, but 47% of the cash on the under. So it seems like the overall public, the teasers, everything's kind of pushing this under, and the books are maybe thinking they've got some risk behind it, C-Mac. So tell us how we're getting paid here.
This is another one, Mike, the look through a bunch of times, because Weber State, very good basketball team at home and off 2 losses on the road, but at Sac State and Portland State. Not great teams, really. So Weber not playing really good basketball, but at home, and this is where you really want them. But I can't take them here. I've been impressed with Eastern Washington, how this team plays. Their strength of schedule has been really, really tough so far this year. It's extremely high. They shoot 38% from 3, 26 in the country. Decent free throw shooting team. Those are the things I always like to look at when I'm looking at a dog in a conference game like this. The 6 is the number, but I think 5.5 is enough. And Eastern Washington, by the way, they took care of this team the last few years. I love their non-conference schedule that they've had. Not that Weber State was horrible, but a little bit better players, a little bit better shooters, and I think they're in this one. They've had no problem going there the last 5 or 6 years and even outright winning. So Eastern Washington, 5.5, I think okay, because there's no 6s. Eastern Washington here.
I thought that was a strange number to see it, because you look back at it. I mean, all Eastern Washington's done is win lately, and their favorites is they're winning. So I thought this is a big mistake on the bookmakers. That's going to make my card as well. I love the look there with Eastern Washington. That's one of my more favorite teams anyhow.
Winners of 8 of 9, Mikey. Yeah, and they're playing well.
And again, favorites predominantly throughout the card. So is Weber State, that much better a team? I just don't think so. I think you kind of hit it on the head when you look at what Weber State's been doing. Coming off of back-to-back losses, they've got 3 straight road games. They didn't end that road trip well. Portland State's a tough team. I'm a Portland State fan. I kind of lean to Portland State tonight as well. Just an interesting spot. Yeah, they beat Oral Roberts. All right, but they were only 2.5 point favorites. And this seems like this is not indexed properly. It should be an opportunity, maybe even a money line for the outright for an Eastern Washington. Tough to go on the road and kind of get that outright, but I like the look. I think that 5.5 is going to make my card as well. For editorial purposes, the money line's plus 185. That might even have to throw a little sprinkle on that guy too. But that's
I like how they played on the road too. They haven't won a much, but we've seen some wins from them in this 8 of 9 ripoff of wins, and I think they're in this one too. Yeah, I think you got to have a little here on the money line, of course.
Yeah, why the hell not at this point? I mean, I took one earlier today that was over plus 300. I was like, I think if we got a shot, we got a shot. So let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's change gears. Let's go to the NBA. It's a smaller card in the NBA. We should be able to buzz through this. I don't have a ton of plays out there for the NBA. I did make a couple of ads. I will say that I added the Chicago Bulls spot. I'm going to go money line on the Bulls at minus 125. So this line opened up at -3. It's down to -2. 2.5s are out there too, depending on the Raptor side that you want to get involved with. But C-Mac, this thing's got 55% of the bets, only 47% of the cash on the Bulls. So, some of the bigger dollars are coming in via Toronto. The total opened up at 226.5, has moved 2 points to 228.5, 69% of the bets and 74% of the cash. I got a couple thoughts going on this game. So you'll see them. I got the lean on the top. C-Mac, I've been hammering the Scotty Barnes under rebound props. Ever since they got into the building, he just hasn't figured out what his role is in life, and he's kind of that guy that's like, I'll just do anything you want me to do, and it's just not rebounding. Now, I did see Bruce is coming back. He's ready to go tonight, right? He's been cleared to play. And I don't know what that's going to do. I expect that's going to eat into his minutes, but it's a lean for me here because it's tied to a parlay that I have. But I did add the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls are 17-0-1 against the spread. They're winning by almost 12 points against the spread when they're a small dog to a medium favorite. When they're playing a team that has no rest off an outright win or a loss as a dog out there. That's Toronto last night. Toronto whooped them boys. No rest coming in as a small favorite. But I'm not going to fuck with the 2 because it's moved down from the 3 to the 2. And I mean, it's moving in the direction to make it appealing, but I'm looking at minus 120. I'm thinking minus 130s in hockey. Not concerned about that from a basketball perspective. Also, the Raptors 0-8 against the spread when they have no rest, playing against the East off a win as a dog. That couldn't be any more an opportunity for intersecting zeros if I've ever heard it in my life. You got a spot where you got a team that's 17-0-1 when they're playing the team that won as a dog with no rest. And then you got a team that's 0-8 when they're the dog that came off the win and have no rest. There's no better way for me to jump in on the Chicago side than taking a look at that. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I want nothing to do with this. Good luck.
I like Toronto. I'm like, fuck.
No, I don't want Toronto. We all saw the Siakam news. He's going to the Pacers.
Yep.
And they've been different since the earlier trade. They've just all of a sudden been an over team, really. I know the last few games have gone under. Kind of the Heat didn't score anything in that last game. We talked about it. Mike, I had this great run with the Bulls. I just don't want them really, especially on the road right here, even with the short number. When Levine's back, I don't want him. Yep. I just don't want them. And I probably will get to him coming back, but the run was just really, really good. It was like 10-1, maybe something like that. I have to double check for about that 3-week stretch.
You brought us the Kobe White guy there. I mean, that was the big play. It was Kobe White.
Hey, right away, I was on top of that. They were way off on that from jump.
I rode that fucking thing like a pony, just like this Scotty Barnes wonders in the rebounds. I mean, that's been nothing but cash. So respect. And now that Levine's coming back, though, again, it's like I think Toronto played as hard as they did because they were like, oh shit, we're making trades. Maybe I can get out of here. And at the flip side, Chicago realizes like, hey, we are who we are. Nobody wants us anymore. So. This is a bad game all around, but I think it's with that intersecting zero spot. That was some late breaking news that kind of came to my attention. I looked at this next game with the Wizards and the Knicks. Again, I've got this NBA ad with the Bulls. I did jump on this over, kind of a weird over spot too, with this number dropping. We got the plus 11s where it opened up. It's now sitting at 12s. 76% of the bets and 66% of the cash, like the New York Knicks. Not against that, but then the total is kind of where I got into this thing because I saw this number is now 234. It continues to drop, and the 234 is minus 105. 238 is where it opened, so we're down 4 points from the original number. 63% of the bets, but only 51% of the cash. So coin flip as far as the number on the total, and it's dropping. So maybe that's the red flag for most, but I wanted to get down on the Knicks, but I don't know. I just couldn't pull the trigger there. I like the Knicks minus 12, but you know what I realized is when you got your ass kicked twice in a row by the same team, and now you're on the road in the conference game against that team, you're 6-1-1 the third time up. So I just thought the overall strategy for me here was the Wizards don't play shit for defense. It's in Madison Square Garden, so they should want to get up for this game. And if I can get them over 234 at minus 105, I thought that was a low juice opportunity to wash out some of these other juicy spots I took. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, this is Knicks. Or no play, and I don't want to play. I had them yesterday. The Rockets just had that great stretch, and were great kind of at home. And maybe as the year goes on after the break, we could start seeing them a little bit better when you take them. And the book still had them just a little bit too low, and I thought that was a great number to jump on last night with them. I think this is spot on here, right about 12. I would take the Knicks maybe first half in this game. The Wizards. They're just a dumpster fire. And if you have the points with them, which, all year long they've been all right, ATS, they've been getting some backdoor cover, especially late because these numbers are just too big. But even on the back-to-back, I don't want either side. I had to pass. And I didn't even look a ton in the prop department in this game at all. So if anybody does, throw it in the chat.
Help us out. Help us out here. This game I know was one that you wanted to get involved with here was the OKC spot. OKC Utah Jazz. We got the plus 3.5 for the home Jazz, sitting at 3.5. Now starting to see some threes with 65% of the bets and 64% of the cash on the Jazz. We've got the total 77% of the bets on the over, 74% of the cash on the over. It's moved down almost a point in this pot. So I'm very curious to hear how you're looking to get paid on this one. Take it away.
This is great. Jazz, obviously, the game got canceled yesterday, so they'll get a little bit of rest. So instead of being on the back-to-back, this team, Mike, just for years, and they've been not as great the last 10 years or so. Just in Salt Lake, you want this basketball team.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when they were injured, I took them once when a lot of their guys were out, and they lost to somebody at home. I think 13-1 with them, and almost 9 or 10 of those won outright, where not only they covered, they just take it money line. That's how valuable the Jazz have been, and at home. And I think they're 16, and I forget their record here. They haven't had that many home games, have they? Yeah, 16-4 against the numbers. Is that what you have?
Yep.
15-5 or something like that. Okay. Thunder, played a ton of games as of late. I think this is the 7th in 10 nights, 10 or 11. Couple losses, which we haven't seen. I think this is just that a little bit weird stretch that they're just kind of having. Some good basketball teams just have it before we go to the break, all this stuff before the All-Star break. And they could easily come in here and win this game. But by 4 points to lay it? No way. Give me the Jazz again. And Jazz, Oklahoma City's beat them 4 straight. You know how much I love this Thunder team. They're running through a little bit of sickness, I guess, through this team. It looks like Dort's sick. A few of these guys are sick, man. That'd be great if he doesn't play. But I was already on the Jazz, here. I just plus 3.5. Give me the Utah goddamn Jazz at home.
Yeah, I see. 15-5 at home. 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 6 games in a row, so they're battling right now. And to kind of complement that number, I got the Jazz are 19-0 against the spread. They're covering the spread by 12, almost 13 points, 12.74 points a game, which certainly means that they're a live dog. When they're a home dog, and the line's between +2 and +8 if the total is more than 212. So Jazz is a home dog between +2 and +8 on a total over 212. Are 19-0 against the spread. I think that's a really strong look tonight. I like that. I like that one quite a bit from you. And coming off that extra day of kind of unscheduled rest, why not take an opportunity to smack them boys in an OKC spot that's tired? They're traveling. There's altitude. All the reasons you should be taking them, I think, rings true tonight for the Jazz. So I like that spot a lot. Our guy Justin.
And 130, real quick though, and in this run too, Mike, in this homestand, and I think this is their 5th game they've had here at home. Since they didn't have one last night. They're averaging like 130 a night.
Right.
And we know Thunder score a bunch. This game could get over. The defense just always been a little better. I don't really trust this Jazz team. It's a great defensive team, but at home, just a little bit different. That place rocks there in Salt Lake. Jazz, baby.
They're popping off at 245. They expect points in this game, and I can't disagree. Jacqueline, what's up, Jacqueline? Good
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline.
What up?
Everybody out there, guys. If you haven't done so, smash that like button for us here. We're having a banger tonight. We've been having a good week. We've been having a good couple of weeks now. Shit. We've been having a good run with the show since this thing popped off. And we need you guys to show that like and appreciation. Let's roll on. We got two more games on the NBA card here. We'll keep it brief for you guys. I want to share this parlay with you. 7:30 start, and then we're off to work. So for me, though, I skipped over that Pacers and Kings game. I didn't have a lot that I got involved with that. I'll share with you guys. 36% of the bets and 60% of the cash are on the Pacers. It's dropped a point. So the concern with the Pacers taking the cash is real, and they're starting to bring that down. They might think that's a little overinflated on the line. It's a Kings team, though, that's coming off of a couple of losses and desperate for a win after that long road trip. The total opened at 64% of the bets on the over, 67% of the cash on the over. It has moved a point. So expecting a high-scoring game. That looks like the Pacers are going to probably try to cover the spread. I don't know if you had any thoughts regarding this one or not, C-Mac, but tricky little spot I thought tonight. There's just a lot of question marks to be answered. The Halliburton factor, obviously, with the Pacers. Their numbers are way down since he's come out of the lineup. His 50 points a game not being in there. And the Kings, desperate after that long road trip to come back home. And I always think the toughest part about a long road trip is that first game back home. What do you think?
Yeah, and we got to watch these updates with everyone in. Obviously, they just got Siakam. He's not going to go, but Toppin, Mathurin, all these question marks if they're going to play. But with Halliburton, obviously should be back soon. This team has been money. I've been only on a couple of them just as of late, Mikey. And it's not great because they're playing the Kings, but just the total, it's just been way too high. this team, especially last few 109, 105 points,
Right.
just going under. Kings at home. Yeah, comfortably too.
Right.
Pretty easily. And that last one, I think, was just against the Jazz. So numbers high here. I know it's tough to say it with these two basketball teams, but free bet, I take the under. Yeah, Kings at home, they were on that long road trip here. They had 4 or 5 games. They were just on. Sometimes it's that shit home flat spot we always talk about in the NBA and bring up. So maybe they're a little off, but Pacers I wanted to take with Halliburton. He's out. We got away with that Celtics win when he got hurt middle of the game. But I don't want them with the points. They could hang around here. And Kings, who are blazing, hot to start the year, kind of come back. Still pretty good. They're 23-17. They've been decent against the number. They could cover here. I don't want to lay it with them at all.
Well, I looked at the last game here, Grizzlies and Timberwolves, and 12.5 is a big number. We know Ja Morant's the situation. 56% of the bets, 61% of the cash now on the Grizz. No movement in the line. The total's dropping, though. We had 216.5 is where it opened. 214.5. Now we're starting to see 214, so it's continuing to drop. Does it go any lower by tip-off? Maybe. We're at 41% of the bets, but 90% of the cash on this under. And, it was kind of one of those driving factors for me where I looked at it and I said, first of all, road teams that have rest when they're facing a winning team off a spread win that scored more than 120 points are 20-1. So if they have no rest, that's a Grizzlies spot in that window. But I thought the better opportunity was the under in this thing. I like the fact that the bigger money's coming in on it. Obviously with the absence of Ja Morant now, this team's got to play a little better defense so they don't just get blown out week in and week out. They're coming off of back-to-back unders. Granted, it was the Golden State Warriors and the New York Knicks, but, they're a road team that's kind of been around the block. And flip side of things, the Detroit game just went over. We know Detroit's kind of been an over team, but I think prior to that, they had a Clippers and Portland spot at home for the T-Wolves that were under. So I feel like even though this number is low, it's low for a reason, I guess is what it came down to. And I wanted to jump it on this under 214.5. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
I wanted to hear you hit it up earlier. The price has gone really down for Sabonis in that last game. It's triple-double, where there's so much value with it that the books finally, slowly bringing it down. It's been like 300, 250. Now they're bringing it way down to like around the 150 margin. I was on the Grizzlies. I just didn't think Golden State should be laying that number. They were at home. And I don't really want them a ton. Until I see some stuff going further. But I had him the other day. This isn't good. This is a shit ton of points. I like the under too, Mikey. It's just I can't take it now. Not 214, even though I think it's decent of a bet. Yeah,
it's they correct. It's not even so much steam. It's dropped 2 points obviously from the steam, but there's moved it so damn much that look, for time purposes and keeping things rolling here, I'll share with you guys I did we've been the association's been good to us with the parlay game. So I ran this one here. It's definitely an official play for the show. I talked about Scotty Barnes. I foreshadowed my Scotty Barnes under 7.5 rebounds. Not mad at anybody that wants to back insure this parlay because that's a nice little plus 105 spot. So Scotty Barnes under 7.5 rebounds. I already talked about that. I got the Rudy Gobert spot. I took 12 plus rebounds out of Rudy Gobert and De'Aaron Fox 25 or more points in that desperate spot for the Kings needing to come up on a win on this thing. And kind of the theory was simple. I talked before about Scotty Barnes with his unders. I looked at Rudy Gobert. De'Aaron Fox, I'll start with 28 points, pretty much on the average for this guy. He scored 30 points or more in his last 2 games, and his defense numbers right there. So I kind of teased that down by getting the 25 plus. We talked about the Pacers and the points, and they're allowing the second most points in the NBA at 123.4. They allowed 10th most to the opposing point guard position. So I thought it was a good De'Aaron Fox spot for a team that needs him. And then Rudy Gobert, aka Patient Zero. Jimmy was talking about how he's deep throating microphones before COVID started. And, I don't disagree, but, this guy's rebounding numbers are through the fucking roof. 16, 18, 17, 12, 17, 12. There's a 5 in there, but then a 15. So it shouldn't be a minutes problem for this guy. He's been playing 28 minutes or more in every game but 1 this month. And he's played over 32 minutes in every game but 2. So he should get the minutes. They allow the 4th most rebounds to opposing teams in the NBA. And I think it's a good spot for him to come out there and get it done. So I parlayed the 3 of them together for a little fun at plus 310 today, just to close things out for me. I did end up putting that hockey parlay together that we're involved with now as well. That was a little twist my arm from our chat, but just to have a little fun. I like to root for some of these guys with the points. So that's how I closed it out, C-Mac. What do you think?
Quick. Yeah, this could just be a sleepy spot too. I mean, how big are the T-Wolves going to be up for this? And in that last game, how bad this roster is for Memphis, they're going to need efforts like that all the time, from Williams, Jackson Jr., who was really, really big the other night because everything they're missing. Kelly just they just played Detroit last night. Maybe they're sleepy. I really don't have the balls. Don't want to take Memphis like first half because they could sleepwalk, it seems, through this and still maybe cover. The T-Wolves, they've been that good. We know how good defensively they've been good. So, we were talking about this under. Stay away from me in this game, in the association. Jazz, though, I'm on plus 3.5.
We got you. We got the Jazz. We got the Monmouth plus 9.5. Northern Colorado over 148.5. Eastern Washington plus 3.5. And, of course, the Jazz at the plus 3.5 spot.
Eastern Washington, 5.5. That's what they have now.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I couldn't read my –
believe me, you should read my shit, Mikey. Come on. It's not easy. But I understand it. As long as you get it, then you're good,
We're all going to make some cash tonight, dude. But I appreciate you coming on. I know I twisted your arm. I said, man, you fit perfectly in this Thursday slot. I'm just saying, but it means a ton that you come on here giving us your hard work, your hard looks, coming on knowledgeable inside and out about the industry, the game of basketball. And I know you're kicking ass and taking names in hockey. So we respect what you're doing, my guy. I know you're putting money in everybody's pockets all over Pub Sports Radio. Tell them what you got going on. I know Saturday, big stream Saturday, right? Yeah,
live stream. But first here, thanks for having me on. You got me out of retirement, Mikey, for the day, as I say. But I know I love these Thursday cards too, especially college basketball. This is about the schedule for the most part. You get a little less NBA, but a big college stack and decent NHL here. Here's our guy, MMA Locker Room, Barrett over 20.5. Nice. Perky, what up, my man? Someone mentioned in the chat earlier, who was it, about the gold? I don't think it's gonna be gold unless there's a change for that. You know what I mean? Like I said, since it's a gold membership now, that the thing should show gold. I don't know if that's how it works. We'll figure all that out.
It's going to be green.
Yeah, we're just green for right now, but maybe we can get that all figured out. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But everyone in here, as always, Ian, Coin, Kelly, Lexicon, what's up, my dude? Great to see you. Truth Teller, Smoking Tree, Swiss, what up, my dude? Shout out to all you guys. Keith, what's going on? King Al. Shout out to everyone in the green, too, as well. We appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Mikey. And check out Saturday. If you, I know, do what you got to do. Saturdays, too. I know you're a busy man, but I always love having you on, especially when we can break down the other sports. Because we're doing the live. It's always fun of that college basketball game, especially right now with NFL. Until that's over with, it's just really important to talk about the NFL games and the NBA and NHL while that college is going on. Of course, we'll run through that card too. And shout out to the chat. They always come with great shit as always, like they do on your show, Mikey. Gotta love it, baby. Thanks for having me, my man. Appreciate it. And let's get it tonight.
Sounds good, my guy. I know Saturday, big live stream Saturday for Pub Sports Radio. Them boys, C-Mac and Dabby Cab, are going to kick things off to start the day right after Jeff Nadu comes out there and gives the college basketball breakdowns. Then we got the UFC stream, and it's a little simulcast on Saturday. There's going to be a stream going for the NFL as well. Jimmy had mentioned that San Francisco Green Bay game, if I'm not mistaken, is the one that's going to be out there on the big screen. So going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a ton of fun this weekend. Thursday's connected to Friday. It's the bridge to the weekend. Let's get that cash. Appreciate everybody coming out here today. C-Mac Wyndham gave him the rundown there. Truth Teller, Lexicon, Subhuman, Gaucho, Perky Bumps, riding the slopes, my guy, Perky Bumps, Kelly B, Coin, Lexicon, MMA Locker Room, our guy sharing his look. You mentioned Barrett over 20.5. Swizz, Smoking Tree. You guys are already winning in the chat. It's great to see these pops, these plays coming up. King Al, Keith's out there. I know we had our girl Jacqueline in here as well. You guys do a great job. And again, without you guys, we have absolutely nothing. So if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button. Go get those tickets printed. And we'll see you guys all back here again tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. Last call, baby. Thanks again. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Pub Sports. And shout out to Jeff Slaughter giving us the opportunity to get out here and share these looks. Let's go cook the books, baby.